This right here will get her soaked, bro. The best revenge is leveling up. You have to make these people pay for what they did to you. Boys, what is up? It's your boy Robin Aesthetics here again with another video. And today I'm going to take you guys down memory lane. I'm going to show you guys how I went from a 140-pound skinny loser that couldn't even get a girl to look his way to the man I am today. So it all started when I graduated high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I picked a random career, which was dentistry. After a year or so, I realized that it wasn't for me. I dropped out and tried to regroup and think about what I wanted to do. But in the meantime, I was working at this grocery store called Publix. And at that store, there was a bunch of average guys, right? So there was no elite guys in that environment. And guys, if there's no elite guys to look up to in your environment, you're going to stay the same. You're going to stay average just like them. And you're going to think there's nothing wrong with you, right? So you have to change environments. But anyways, while I was there was a girl that I met, right? I met this good looking chick. She was about an 8 out of 10. And at the time, she would flirt with me, but she had a whole girlfriend. Guys, that should have been my first red flag. Guys, never, ever take a bisexual girl seriously, right? They're too sexually liberated. I'll make a video on that. But anyways, she was bisexual and she had a girlfriend while I was flirting with her. That should have told you how easy she was. Anyways, we started to chill and actually hang out. And then eventually she broke up with her girlfriend. Next thing you know, I'm hearing rumors around the store, right? Amongst my managers and everybody else, like, yo, such and such is messing with your girl, bro, this and that, right? And that guy that they were talking about that was allegedly messing with my girl was one of the lamest dudes at the store, right? That was one of the lamest dudes at the store, so I didn't believe it. I'm thinking everybody's fucking around with me. It wasn't until I found hardcore evidence that she was letting this dude come over and beat her guts in. Guys, I was devastated, right? It hurt me. But I knew something had to be done. And it hurt especially because I worked with these people. I thought I could trust these people, but they were going behind my back and doing God knows what. I could have dwelled on the moment, right? I could have dwelled on what happened. I could have blamed her, right? I could have blamed women. I could have hated women, right? I could have hated that guy for what he did. But instead, I actually applaud myself for this because I took it upon myself to have a self-reflection moment. And that's what a lot of you guys need to start doing, right? Don't blame the situation at hand. Blame yourself, right? Think about what you could have did better, right? So I realized that I couldn't afford to be 150 pounds anymore. I couldn't afford to neglect my hygiene, right? I couldn't afford to dress like a bum, right? I couldn't afford to keep beating my meat, right? So I needed to change. So what did I do? I went to YouTube and the first thing I searched up was how to get over a breakup, right? And then in my search, I found a couple self-improvement YouTubers, right? So I binged their videos for a couple weeks and it finally clicked that the best revenge is leveling up. You have to make these people pay for what they did to you. You have to make them pay for how they made you feel, right? And there's no better revenge than success. What do girls do after a breakup, right? They sleep with like 10,000 men, right? They think adding bodies is gonna prove something to them, right? It's gonna prove something to you like, oh, look at me. I can go ahead and fuck all these guys. Like, no, you're just fucking up your body count, right? As men, when we get our heart broken, we have to go crazy, bro. We have to become elite. We have to fix all the problems that's wrong with us, right? We have to fix all our instabilities. We have to become elite. We have to become that guy. And that's the best revenge. That's the best way to do it. So first, I started with my physique. So as a skinny dude, I naturally picked up calisthenics because it was easy for me to get into and it was easy for me to start adding on lean muscle. So eventually I got in the gym and started to see some real progress and actually get real compliments. Now, at this point, I'm realizing that this shit works, but I'm still not where I needed to be, right? I fell in love with the process. Now, I even remember trying to leave work early to go to the gym right after, but the closing manager wouldn't let me leave. So now I'm realizing like, yo, my time is being controlled. I'm on Publix's time. So now I need to change environment. They were hindering my growth. So I picked up another job that allowed me to close at a reasonable time. So now I'm taking the gym more seriously than I ever have in my life. And I'm seeing crazy amount of progress, right? I'm seeing crazy amount of growth, but the chicks still aren't coming in. That's when I realized I gotta get my money up. I gotta maximize my income. And it's not to trick on girls and lead with money. It's to put me into better situations to where I can improve on my looks. And when it's time for me to actually get a girlfriend, I can provide for her, right? So now I took the risk quit both of my jobs to pursue my career, right? My passion, which was personal training. Now that I'm getting a decent salary, I'm able to dress better. I'm able to buy clothes that complement my physique. I'm able to eat cleaner. I'm able to fully take care of my hygiene. Matter of fact, I can't believe I'm doing this right now, but I'm gonna put you guys on, right? This is for you guys only. Guys, this right here will get her soaked, bro. Chanel Allure Home Sport. Stop being cheap, bro. Reinvest back into yourself. I promise you, bro. It's gonna make a huge difference. Now, you have to get the sport version because you're able to wear it in the gym and casually, right? So, bro, spray this on before you go to the gym, right? Spray it on before a date. Spray some in your car before she hops in the passenger seat, right? Guys, you have to reinvest into yourself, bro. If you want to become elite, you have to take care of yourself, bro. And that comes at a certain price, right? I think this bottle is only like $130. Bro, stop being cheap, bro. Invest into yourself. Beforehand, when I was working 2 jobs, I wasn't eating as healthy, right? I was still beating my meat, giving me tons of acne and lowering my testosterone. Now, back to the story. Now that I got to the gym and I leveled up a little bit, the girls are finally starting to come, right? First week I'm there, there's like 3 girls on me just begging for it. If anybody from Crunch is watching right now, comment down below if I'm lying, right? But anyways, 3 girls on me begging for it. But literally last year, I was invisible to these girls, right? I couldn't even get a girl to go on a date with me. But now they're begging for it, right? They can't leave me alone. It didn't seem real to me. And at this point, I knew what I was doing actually worked, but I knew I couldn't stop here. I knew I couldn't stop there. I knew the ceiling was much higher. I got used to it pretty fast though. Like I was going crazy. It was a new girl every week and I knew I had to slow it down. So I just doubled down on my craft and started adding on more clients, right? So I came across this one client and he had a connection to a trainer in Miami. So then, one thing led to another. We made connections and now I'm training in Miami. Now I'm in a whole new environment where I'm the small fish in a huge pond again, right? Now you're talking Miami. This is a huge city, a huge major city. Now I'm going to work. I'm parking next to Lambos and Ferraris, right? Back in Broward, back where I'm from, we only see that occasionally, right? We see a Lambo or Ferrari pass by occasionally, right? 30 minutes down the road in Miami, this shit's everywhere, right? Now I'm training elite clients. These guys are giving me game, spitting knowledge, right? Teaching me sales and everything like that. So now I have no choice but to grow, right? But again, the ceiling doesn't stop here, right? It's way higher. So now that leads me into online coaching, right? All my clients like, yo, why don't you start coaching online, right? Why are you limiting yourself to only 8 hours a day, right? Because think about it. I can really only see like 8 clients a day physically, right? Before I burn out, right? And get drained. So all my clients telling me like, yo, like, why don't you just train online? And it clicked to me like, yeah, that's the perfect thing to do, right? So now I'm in the midst of balancing both. But just a couple years ago, I was still in an average environment amongst all these average guys, putting limiting beliefs in my head, right? Telling me I couldn't amount to anything, right? Telling me I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. And that if I leave Publix, I'll be right back, right? I was still chasing females. I was still smoking weed. I was still getting cheated on. I was still beating my meat, right? I was still a loser. I was still a skinny loser, not prioritizing my health, not prioritizing my fitness, not prioritizing my wardrobe, not prioritizing my hygiene. So guys, there's power in changing your environment, yes, but you also have to change what's within, right? You have to self-improve, right? You have to reflect on your actions. You have to reflect on how you're moving each day, right? Because if not, then you're never going to change, bro. You're going to think nothing's wrong with you and you're not going to see a problem with it. So I took it upon myself when I was down on my knuckles. I took it upon myself to change, bro. Because I knew that's not the life I wanted to live, right? And I really had no plan, right? I had limiting beliefs because I didn't think I could coach. I was putting too much emphasis on it. I was putting too much thought into it. I was like, bro, what if this happens? What if that happens? I can't coach. I'm too skinny, right? So what did I do? I got jacked and I gained knowledge, right? I was in the gym from the time it opened to the time it closed, right? I was putting in work. So if you change your environment, put in work, always try to look for the next step. Always try to level up, right? You're going to be good, bro. I promise you. But it starts here. It starts here, bro. You have to be looking for that next step. You can't just be content with where you're at. And if you're doing good, keep going, right? But look for that next step. If you're the top performer at your job, look to become a manager. If you're already a manager, look for the next step, right? What's the next step after that? Can I be a regional manager, right? Can I manage a couple stores, not just one, right? If you're in sales, if you're making 10 sales a week, try to make 20 the next week, right? Whatever you do, try to maximize it. Try to become elite. Try to be the best at whatever you do, bro. Because I'm telling you, bro, it's only going to net positive results. It's only going to net positive results, guys. So yeah, guys, that's really my journey of how I overcame all my bad vices, stopped pedestalizing women, and actually started to become something, right? Actually started to become elite. And if you guys are struggling with the self-improvement, you're still indulging in bad vices, you're still indulging in bad habits, you need to change your environment, and you don't know where to start, apply for my Everyday Elite Academy, right? It's not just a coaching program, it's a brotherhood. Click the link in the bio to learn more and apply. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.